Okay, so we ended up missing the storms that went to my south. Philadelphia got some of the worst of the storms. I believe they even had some hail, as there was some lightning associated with the storm, with the activity. Even though there was no forecast for thunderstorms, according to the National Weather Service, there was some pretty intense storms that went through Philadelphia that produced, I believe, small hail and some gusty winds. The activity we're getting now is not very intense, and there's no hail with it. It's just rain. Even though there's some yellows on radar, some yellows and even a little bit of orange, the activity is too, it's just not convective enough to produce any hail. And on radar, it came down as a, yes, on radar, it did look like it might have some heavy rain with it. Really, the rain is light and moderate right now. And the hail in Philadelphia was likely at largest, maybe dime to quarter size at largest. I don't think it was any larger than that. Even though I saw some purples on radar, and there was quite a bit of lightning activity once it was over Philadelphia, I don't think there was going to be any hail with it. And I'm still hearing numerous fire trucks, fire engines, emergency responders coming through the area as they're responding to the coronavirus. There is about 12,000 cases, 11,000 cases here in Queens. Yes, 11,000 cases, guys. We already have over 11,000 cases, over 200 fatalities just in this borough alone. We have close to 70,000 cases total in all of New York State, over 1,000 fatalities already. Guys, most of the fatalities are sadly concentrated in New York State. We are the epicenter of the pandemic. New York now has over 800 fatalities, with fatalities basically almost every county in New York State. Nationwide, we have over 150,000 cases. Basically, cases are doubling almost every 2 days. Almost every 6 days, we're having a doubling in cases. So I think New York City will see over 100,000 cases in the next few days, and we will likely break the 1,000 mark in just the next day in New York City. And currently, the worst affected borough with the most cases and fatalities, it's sadly the one I'm in right now, which is Queens County, New York. Queens right now is doing the worst out of all the boroughs, both with the number of cases and the number of fatalities reported in this borough. And as you can see, we're getting some heavy rain. Some of this rain is much needed, as it will wash away a lot of the virus, but not all of it. For example, on some surfaces, it's still there. And I had to go shopping today because, I was missing some essentials and I forgot to put on my gloves. So now I might have to watch my symptoms for the next 14 days and see if I get sick or not, or next 5 or 6 days. Most likely I will not, because, the super has been disinfecting a lot of the surfaces. However, when I went shopping, touching shopping carts, just yeah, this is a very dangerous pandemic. I mean, I know the World Health Organization dubbed it a pandemic before it was even a pandemic, because they knew how bad it could get, and they were right to do so. I mean, the coronavirus right now globally has over 750,000 cases. We're already approaching 800,000, and we will likely surpass 1 million cases. Yes, 1 million cases in just the next few days. This is going to be a very sad milestone, but yes, I think the world will see over 1 million confirmed cases in the next few days. I think by Saturday, we will likely see close to 1 million cases confirmed. The United States will likely hit 200,000 cases in the next few days, as the number of cases are increasing extremely rapidly. We're seeing an average of 30 to 40,000 cases per day globally. And I mean total. I don't mean new cases. I mean, even when you take away the deaths and the recovered, you're still seeing an average of 30 to 40,000 more infections than the previous period. For example, I'm going to do a live stream in which I will basically count. I'll do a live stream on my computer. I mean, I'll have to end the one on my phone because unfortunately you can't transfer from one device to another. So I'm gonna briefly go off the live stream. I'm not ending it. Just look at the radar. I'll see where it's raining heaviest right now. Well, we're kind of in a lull right now, a little bit of a lull. But there's an even heavier band of rain coming in right now from the northwest. The heavier rain right now is over northwestern Queens County. It should be here in a couple minutes. And yes, it's going to rain even heavier now. There's orange and yellows in there. What just came through now was mostly dark greens and a couple of spots of yellow. So it's about to get even heavier. The stuff to the north to the Bronx is even heavier than what we're getting. We should get basically the eastern part of that. I mean, the rain isn't heavy, like we just had some moderate rain come through. There is no lightning with this coming through, even though it looks intense and there is cold air loft. I'm gonna quickly check the dual pole to see where it's snowing, where the rain snow line is. Well, so I just checked the radar. Okay. So I just checked the radar. There is some moderate to heavy rain coming in right now. Yes, heavier than what we just got. So heavier than what one of those puddles over there. Let me look at my screen, at my camera. Definitely does not look like in the best condition. Great, hold on. Great. As you can see, we're getting some light rain right now. The heaviest of the rain is just to my northwest. Let me get one more look on the radar. So based on what I just saw, it's about to get really heavy. Should be heading towards the and yes, the rain snow line is not close to the ground. In fact, it's several thousand feet up. The rain snow line is about 4,000 feet up, which is pretty high. Even though the 32-degree line is like right over us, it's warm enough at ground level that it's melting almost all the way down, all the way up there. There's no hail with this. In fact, my even though when I left it was 71%, my phone it was like in the 70s. It's already, my battery's already down to 65%. This is a cold air. And it's about to start pouring really heavily. There's a heavy band of rain approaching me right now. So I only have a couple minutes to be out before I have to head in. It's about to start raining really heavily. There's no wind with this activity, but there was some hail in Philadelphia. No reports, but I know there was hail. I believe the hail was probably at smallest, a little smaller than P, to likely, very likely, at least marble. So there was definitely a lot of convection in Philadelphia. There was lightning, there was pinks on radar, there was lavender colors. So I think there might have been a few instances of quarter-sized hail, definitely. There was probably a couple of, there was no warnings that were issued, but I think there might have been some dime-sized to nickel to perhaps just under quarter-sized hail. Considering there was no warnings issued, that means there was no wind. But there was hail in Philadelphia, no doubt. Especially with the air being cold aloft. There's probably a couple instances of maybe some coatings of hail. Because there was some reports in Massachusetts that there was some hail coming down just yesterday evening. There was no warnings of those cells. There was some lightning though. Even though the air was warmer aloft, hardly, there was just a couple pink lavenders. There was instances of hail, there was lightning, but no warnings, as there was no wind with those storms, and the hail was too small to be severe. The radar in Philadelphia looked more impressive, and there was. So I think the hail was likely nickel dime to probably just a little, like between quarter and nickel sized. Right now the temperatures are around 45 with light to moderate rain, but it's about to get really heavy. I'm gonna check one more look on the radar. I'm gonna show you where. Well, according to the radar, the downpour should be right on top of us right now. But not even a downpour, but steady heavy rain. The heavy rain should be right on top of us. We have a minute until it really starts pouring. See, right now it's raining at this intensity, which is moderate. But see, the drops are getting already big. I don't know if you can tell, but yep, the rain's getting more intense now, guys. Well, it looks like it's here. The downpour is here now. Yep, listen to it. As I said, there's no hail of this activity, even though it would be cool if there was, but there isn't. This is just rain. This is all rain, guys. See? It's just heavy rain. And yes, the 32-degree line had passed to our south. It's not warm enough aloft. Enough instability for hail right now, even though there are some yellows and pinks, yellows and oranges on radar. We're actually passing through a pretty intense batch right now. But unfortunately, it's not intense enough for